So about 9 to 10 days ago, Alex Hicks of Just Alex here on YouTube, of Alex's World, did a video explaining why one of the interviews he had done basically with somebody within the business did not, come to fruition. Basically, the interview Alex was planning to upload for all of us to see was with Deonna Purrazzo. Now, he has basically, through his Dropbox, provided two versions of his interview, the unedited version and the edited version. But why are there two versions, you might ask? Well, as Alex pointed out, the first version was, the first version, the unedited version, didn't come out as quite well as he was hoping. Basically, he wasn't sure if it was the internet on his end, on her end, or something in between. But apparently, at times when Deonna would answer some questions, that he had, she would go in and out. Basically, she would dip in, she would dip out. Like, she would answer, there'd be like a sudden pause, like a sudden few-second pause, and a little distortion, and then she'd come back on, or something like that. And Alex, being pretty much, and I say it with all due respect to the guy, being somewhat of a perfectionist, he didn't want the interview to be uploaded in the condition that he had it. And that you could see his expression, and we all saw it. For all of us that follow Alex, we all saw his expression. He wasn't too thrilled during the initial interview with everything dipping out on her end or his end or whoever's end it was, or if it's something in between. He wasn't too happy about it. So what did Alex do? What did Alex do, you might ask? Well, initially, what Alex did, hold on for a second. My apologies there, I had to clean something off the floor that I didn't even know was there until just now. But anyway, what initially Alex did basically was, after the initial interview, again, being the perfectionist he is, he went back and he used whatever software he had. I'm assuming Adobe Premiere or Cyber Power Director or whatever. He used whatever software he had to fix the interview, kind of edit it, clean it up a little bit, try to make it make it sound and look like she wasn't dipping in and out like she was initially. Well, after he did that, he was ready to basically present it to all of us, right? Because he wanted to, show his fans, his supporters, and everything, this interview that he got with Deonna Purrazzo. And unfortunately, Impact Wrestling, saw this along with everybody and said, "No, Alex, you can't have this up there. Please take it down." So Alex took it down. Well, either he took it down or YouTube took it down or Impact had YouTube take it down or whatever. But basically it got taken down. And he asked them basically, why he had to take it down. Well, at least he basically wanted to know why he took it down, or why it had to be taken down, or why he had to take it down, essentially. And Impact Wrestling said that he could not have it edited. He was not allowed to edit it. He needed to keep it as it was. That's basically it. In other words, no corner cuts or anything like that. You have to keep it as authentic as it is. No edits. No jumps or anything like that. It has to be as agreed upon. And Alex basically said, well, and Alex basically said to them that, when he was doing the interview with her, it did not come out the way he was hoping. That basically things were dipping in and out, there were connection issues, stuff like that. So, Impact Wrestling, and Alex explains it more in his video, which I'll link here at the end, Impact Wrestling was very understandable. They said, okay, no problem, we'll reschedule it. We'll get you another one as soon as we can. Now, from what I could tell by what Alyx was saying, is Impact's verbiage to him was, we're going to set you up as quickly as we can. Now, it's understandable that Alyx would be a little worried that it wouldn't be, as quick as he would like. But from what I understand, when he was explaining it initially in his video, which again I'll provide at the end, to me the verbiage they were giving him was, hey, we'll get right on it. We're going to get you another interview, hopefully just like that. But unfortunately what happened was, obviously there was some kind of miscommunication. There was a miscommunication because when Alyx went to Twitter X, and went to Deonna Purrazzo's page, he saw that Deonna had blocked him. And he wanted to know what happened. Because they just had this great interview. Yes, he kind of tidied it up a little bit, hoping that would work. It didn't. So he wanted to know what was going on, because he wanted to let her know, hey, they're going to set up another interview with me and you, so that, this way it could come off a lot better and there won't be any need of editing. Well, again, he goes to her Twitter and he finds out he blocked her. He finds out she blocked him, I should say. Not he, but she. He finds out that she blocked him. So he contacts her. He asks her, hey, what's the deal? What's going on here? What did I do wrong, right? Because he's thinking, okay, I went through all the right channels, which he did. He did go through all the right channels. Let's be honest about that. Let's be fair about that. He did go through all the right channels to try to fix this issue, to try to get an interview that would not need to be edited in any manner. It would be as authentic and as unedited and straightforward, as it should be. Well, again, obviously there was some miscommunication, because when he asked Deonna why she blocked him, Deonna basically flat out said, hey, you're making me look bad. You're trying to make me and Impact Wrestling look bad. And obviously that's as furthest from the truth as I think anybody could imagine if you follow Alyx. Because whether or not you agree with Alyx Hicks's viewpoints, whether or not you agree with JD from NY206's viewpoints, or Solomonsters, or the Slag Daddy of OTR Central, or Chris Van Vliet, or whoever, if you follow these individuals, you would know that, what Deonna was accusing someone like Alyx of doing could be furthest from the truth. Because what people like him and JD and the Slag Daddy and all of them are trying to do is promote the brand. They're trying to promote said, wrestling superstar, whether it's a male or a female. That's what they're trying to do, and that is indeed true. And that is indeed true. They are trying to promote that individual so that they can get better and bigger bookings. They are trying, by extension, to help promote the organization they work for, so that promotion, that organization, can get bigger and better exposure, and maybe even a bigger, better television deal in the long run. I mean, let's be honest. Who really likes the idea that Impact Wrestling is on Access TV, a network not everybody can get? How many people like that? I don't. I would love to be able to tune in and watch Impact Wrestling every Thursday. I would. I don't want to have to spend, I don't know how much money I should say on a, membership to the YouTube channel, just to the insiders, the ultimate insiders, whatever they call it, just to watch Impact. No, I want to be able to see it, live as it happens, or as it airs. Well, it's pre-recorded, but you get the idea. I would like that opportunity, but it's on a network that not even my Xfinity package or my Xfinity provider gets. So by extension, what Alyx is doing is he's trying to promote Impact Wrestling through this interview with Deonna, so that basically, maybe down the line, they can get a better television deal, get on a better network. But But that's not happening, is it? That's not happening, is it? Now, right now it's not, because Deonna thinks, obviously he's trying to ruin her. He's trying to ruin Impact Wrestling, and that could be further from the truth. Because I can tell you honestly, the women that he had, the women wrestlers and eventual men wrestlers or men of this business that he's going to talk to, like tomorrow he's going to talk to Chris Van Vliet. Of the people he talks to, he's trying to promote them. He's trying to get them recognition to get better and bigger opportunities. When Chris Van Vliet interviews talent, from both companies, whether it's, WWE, Impact Wrestling, AEW, wherever, Chris Van Vliet, the man he's going to be interviewing tomorrow, or has interviewed, but it'll be dropping tomorrow. Chris Van Vliet is doing exactly what Alyx is trying to do. He's trying to help promote these individuals so they get bigger opportunities. By extension, he's trying to promote the companies they work for so that they, believe it or not, even when it comes to WWE, they get better opportunities. They're not trying to ruin these people. They're not. And Alyx, I've been following the guy for years. Yeah, he's younger than me, there's no doubt. But I've been following him for years. And I could tell you he's not trying to ruin anybody. He's trying to help promote that individual. He's trying to help promote the brand they're a part of by extension. I mean, if he could get an interview with Hiroshi Tanahashi, a New Japan legend, if he could get an interview with him, he'd be promoting Hiroshi Tanahashi to a whole new audience that may not know about him. By extension, he'd be promoting, New Japan Pro Wrestling to a whole new audience. He'd be doing that. He wouldn't be doing it to ruin anybody. He'd be doing it to help promote, help get them bigger opportunities. I mean, heck, if Alyx, let's say, gets an opportunity to interview JD from NY206 or vice versa, they wouldn't be doing it to each other to hurt the other. No, they've been doing it to help promote the other to get them bigger and better opportunities. That's what they'd be doing. I mean, if Alyx Hicks, by some miraculous miracle, could get an interview with, let's say, Switchblade Jay White of Bullet Club Gold, do you think he'd be doing that to hurt Jay White? No. He'd be doing that to promote the man, get him more opportunity, get him more recognized and get him more opportunities. He'd be doing it by extension to promote AEW more so than what it is, as well as promote Bullet Club as it is. He'd be doing that. He wouldn't be doing it to hurt the guy. No. I mean, heck, if he can get an interview with the NWA Women's Champion Camille, by doing so, he'd be promoting and getting Camille more recognition for who she is. He'd be getting the new Billy Corgan-led NWA more recognition than what it has currently. He'd be helping them in a huge, huge way. It's not to hurt them, it's to help. So whatever happened with Deonna Purrazzo, in Impact Wrestling, I'm going to be honest with you, that's on them. That's on them. It's not on Alyx. It's on them because obviously there was a miscommunication on their end. Somebody at Impact Wrestling did not give a straight, correct answer to Deonna Purrazzo. They didn't. It's not hard, ladies and gentlemen. It's not hard to make sure you get the notes and the information and communication correct. It's not that hard. It isn't. A lot of people accuse AEW, and rightfully so, for mismanagement and miscommunication all across the board, right? Right? They get accused of that, and justifiably. Well, Impact Wrestling can be looked at in the same kind of vein. Because if somebody's not communicating on their behalf to Deonna Purrazzo's team and on her behalf as to what's going on here, then somebody needs to get the head out of the rear and get the minds on straight, when it comes to communicating. That's what they need to do. They need to get their head out of the rear and on straight and get their mind on straight when it comes to giving, basically sending out the right messages and not getting them mixed, not having miscommunication. Because once you have miscommunication, it causes more harm than good. And to me, I want people to support Alyx. I do. The guy has earned his medal. He has. He, along with JD, OTR Central, and Solomonster, are 4 of the best up-and-coming names when it comes to, talking about wrestling for a living here on YouTube. They are. I mean, look at JD, look at Solomonster. Both of them are part of House of Glory. Solomonster right now is doing some of the best work he's ever done as not only a play-by-play person, at House of Glory, but as the commissioner. He's doing a heck of a job. He really is. And not only that, but outside of that, when he's on camera or audio-wise talking about wrestling, he's proving why he is such a great fan and why he's in the position he is at House of Glory. Same with JD. They are doing what, JD is doing what he does because people respect his opinion. And he has a nose for the business. Whether you agree with his opinion or you don't, he's where he's at right now because of who he is. This is why House of Glory likes him as the play-by-play announcer. I mean, why do you think the Houston radio network, or wherever it was, got Alyx and his friends to own Raw Cognitivist podcast when they did? Because they respect what Alyx gives his opinions on. He doesn't hold back. He doesn't hold back. He doesn't sugarcoat. And basically, if he wants to help promote something, he wants to help promote it by making it the very best as it is, making it look good, making it look decent. He's not trying to harm or hurt anybody. So whatever happened on the other side of the coin with Impact and Deonna, that's on them. It's not on him, it's on them. And that's the truth. It's not on him, it's on them. And hopefully things do get straightened out. Hopefully they do. When I come out here and I talk about things, I know sometimes people may get my messages of what I talk about here on my YouTube page, on my YouTube channel, and audio videos, or on camera, or even through my podcast. I know some people may get it mixed and everything, but I'm not trying to mix anything up. I'm just telling you straight up. I'm shooting from the hip, if you will, about what I'm saying. This is why I usually go by that saying of unscripted, uncensored, and on the fly. The reason I go with that saying is because I don't want to go off any bullet points. I don't want to go off a script or anything. Instead, I just want to tell you like it is. And if I have to pause my camera and my 4K camera or my web camera, which I'm recording when I'm recording using OBS Studio, or if I have to pause my digital microphone like what I'm currently using right now, to kind of take a breather or kind of not get myself tongue-tied, before moving on, then I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, but I'm going to continue doing it as I am, as who I am, unfiltered, unscripted, on the fly, shooting straight from the hip, uncensored, straight from the hip. I'm not trying to, be something I'm not. So even if people get what I'm saying miscommunicated, it's because they're not listening straight up to what I'm saying. They're not. They're just hearing what they want to hear. It's like what JD and others say sometimes on Twitter. people will only take certain experts, certain scenes, certain moments in, let's say, one of his OTS extra videos or OTS live streams. They'll just take a certain expert or, moment in there, and you try to use that against him because they don't want to hear what else he has to say. They'll try to take a certain scene where he's talking about something this way and be like, aha, let's take that and use that against him. Because they don't want to hear the whole thing. And if they do, they don't want to deliver the message correctly of what he's saying. Or they don't want to relate it or retaliate it, or not retaliate, but they don't want to reiterate it to somebody else. They don't. They don't want to, pass that on to anybody else. It's kind of like what's going on, right now. And him and Heel Jesse, when they were talking about this, I think, what was it, on Saturday or something? Saturday? No, it was on Wednesday. It was on Wednesday night when they were reviewing Dynamite and everything. They were talking about, they were, for once, believe it or not, for once, in the run, they were giving AEW, the what for. They were giving them the what for like no one else I've ever seen. Like you would never expect someone like JD to do. And one thing that he pointed out, because Jesse brought it up, and this really got JD going because, this is why he feels there is there's lack of leadership in AEW. There is miscommunication in AEW. It's mainly because of the fact that AEW, or somebody in AEW, does not like them for who they are. They do not like them speaking the truth, speaking their minds, being unfiltered, being uncensored, being on the fly, being unscripted, being themselves. They don't like it because it's not what they want to hear. And I can tell you, JD was heated like I've never seen him heated before. Especially when it came to AEW. Because in his opinion, him and Jesse and his Tuesday Night Titan co-host Andrew Balaam, I do apologize if I pronounced that wrong. They're a little too real, basically. They're a little too real for AEW. Because, they don't suck, what, when it comes to AEW. They don't suck TK's bottom region, if you know what I mean. They don't do that. If they see something wrong and everything, they're going to call it out. They're going to call it out. Like what's going on right now with CM Punk and the Elite. To them, they understand, hey, litigation and all that, fine, we get it. But TK, you're the boss. You're the boss. You should be the one putting your foot down, and you should be the one saying, look, you guys need to settle this right now. Let's go into a room, settle this right now, and then let's go out to that ring on Wednesday and Saturday nights and make some damn money with this. JD is the kind of person that will not hold back when it comes to some of that. He will tell it like it is. Jesse will tell it like it is. Andrew Bala will say it like it is. Alyx will say it like it is. That, hey, TK, you're the boss. Get those guys in a room, get this settled right now, and then tell them we're going to go out to that ring on Wednesdays and Saturdays and make money. But because he won't, say the opposite of that, like, oh, I understand, it can't be done, and let's just be happy with what we got. Because he won't be opposite of that, he and Jesse get their passes taken away. The media scrum passes taken away. Because they won't suck. As they put it, basically, TK's you-know-what. And again, this is why I respect these individuals. It's because of the fact that they're not going to suck up to any promotion, whether they're in favor of it more so than another. And this is why, to me, Alyx did what he did. He's not going to basically, this is why Alyx did what he did. He wants Impact Wrestling to get the recognition it deserves. He wants Deonna Purrazzo to get the recognition she deserves, but he's not going to leave it. He's not going to leave the initial interview he did with her, a jumbled mess. He believes he, in his opinion, uncut, unfiltered, if you will, he believes she deserves better. He believes Impact Wrestling, by extension, deserves better, which is why he wanted to edit the thing and hope that that was going to work. But again, apparently some communication went awry, after Impact Wrestling, from the verbiage he was giving, made it sound like, oh yeah, we'll get you this interview right away as soon as we can. We'll get right on it. Something happened in management between both Impact Wrestling, communication-wise, between Impact Wrestling and Deonna Purrazzo. Something happened, and it caused her to get the wrong initial answer, or wrong ignition, or not ignition, but the wrong initial, thoughts, given towards Alyx. Somebody miscommunicated with her, what was going on. And now, right now, and as we speak right now, Alyx, if he wants to do another interview with Deonna Purrazzo, he's got to hope and pray for a miracle that she unblocks him and cooler heads prevail. Because here's the thing. Again, like I said earlier, he wasn't. I'm all with Alyx on this. He was not trying to hurt her. He was not trying to hurt her or Impact by extension. He was trying to help. And he is a perfectionist. A lot of people are. I mean, I'll tell you honestly, I know I sometimes use my mom as a comparison, to be quite honest, and I do it with all love and respect for my mom. But it's like my mom, when she goes to my sister's house and she finds a parking space there, and she gets into that space, but there are times to where, she seems all right, but she'll keep, being like, wait a minute, let me try, let me see this, let me do that, she'll basically keep it's like she'll slide into a parking space when she gets to my sister's, and even though she, like I was saying, she seems to be okay, she'll keep parking a little bit more, like she'll keep moving up a little bit more, back a little bit more, all because she's a perfectionist. She wants it to be perfect. And she's even let it slip every time she does finally get that park that she wants. She lets it slip up out of her mouth of perfect. She'll look out her door, see how she's parked, and she'll let it slip out of her mouth saying perfect. Because she's a perfectionist. Even though she doesn't need to be perfect in her parking, she is a perfectionist. She is. And that's the truth. That's the absolute truth. And again, as strange as the comparison is, here talking about this, that's what Alyx is. He is a perfectionist from what I could tell. Because only a perfectionist would go out of the way to make something that they feel was not good, better than what it was, so that it basically showcases the person they're talking to and the brand by extension that they're part of in a better light. They weren't doing it to hurt, they were doing it to help. And again, this is the risk, and again, this is something that obviously when he got in contact with Impact, and they, from a verbiage perspective, from what I can tell, gave him the idea that hey, we'll get on it right away. We'll get you that interview with her again as quickly as possible. To me, this is where miscommunication happened. Something happened on their end that made it sound like Alyx didn't like the interview he had with Deonna, and she took it offensively. And that could be further from the case. It could be further from the case. It's kind of like, again, going back to something involving my mom years ago, she was playing around, just joking at work, and she said something. She said something that slipped out of her mouth, but she didn't mean it by any harmful way, right? She didn't mean it in any harmful way. She even apologized about it. But unfortunately, because there was a miscommunication, she ended up getting in trouble. She got suspended for a week, and then she ended up floating, for the rest of the year between different Head Start schools that were associated with, that were part of the preschool, the Head Start company, or Head Start institution she was part of. She was just floating between different areas. She was floating between areas in Livermore, Dublin, Pleasanton, and she wasn't fond of it. She wasn't fond of it and everything, but because there was a miscommunication and a misunderstanding, that ended up being a situation that, when she looks back on it, she thanks the Lord for giving her the strength and the tolerance to not quit or anything, because she felt like doing it, but she didn't. Thank God. Thank the Lord. But she didn't let it bring her down. It felt like, at times she did feel like it, but by the grace of God, she didn't let it happen. So again, this is all about miscommunication. And hopefully Impact Wrestling and Deonna Purrazzo, hopefully Deonna Purrazzo unblocks Alyx and lets the communicating begin, and maybe has an understanding of, okay, I get what you were saying, or I get what you were initially telling them. Okay, fine, that's cool. Hopefully cooler heads prevail, and she'll get that better understanding of, oh, he wants to do the interview again because this happened. Things were, the connection was dropping in and out, on either both sides or someone else's side or whatever. So hopefully, and I believe it will happen, cooler heads will prevail, and Alyx will get another interview with Deonna, hopefully sooner rather than later. But yeah, I will say this, when it comes to these kind of situations, whether you're doing a YouTube channel on pro wrestling, whether you're doing a YouTube channel on MMA or NFL, MLB, NBA, WNBA, college sports, one thing is for certain, whether you're doing a YouTube channel on either one of those or even a podcast on either one of those, one thing is for certain: communication is key. Communication is key. And that communication could either be a benefit, it can be a benefit in the long run, or miscommunication could be a detriment. So communication is huge, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to interviews like this, no matter what you're covering, what your channel mainly covers here and there. It is a huge benefit if done right, and a huge detriment if not done right. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys. What do you think really happened? And do you think just Alyx 6 will get another opportunity to interview Deonna Purrazzo? Let me know down below in the comments, as well as in the live chat during the premiere. Like the video. Also, you'll get an audio version of this at BW Rosa's Discussions Podcast on all your favorite audio podcast affiliates except for Pandora. But more specifically, guys, check me out at Spotify. That helps me out in a big way. Also, check out my Teespring store. Support me at Patreon. Also, go to divanart.com/BVW1979 to check out my stuff there as well. But until next time, guys, let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll talk to you later.